As you've been with me on this journey talking about the power of forgiving others, the power of forgiving others for the offenses that they've caused you, you might be asking, if I forgive them, am I approving of what they did? And the answer is no, absolutely not. God never approves of our sins, but He nevertheless forgives us. One of the best examples of forgiveness for the offender and yet disapproval of their sin is the story found in John 8, 1 through 11. It's the story of the woman who was caught in the very act of adultery. People brought the woman to Jesus and they wanted to stone her to death. That was what the law said. But Jesus first said to those people, "Those of you who are without sin, you be the one to cast the first stone." I know you've heard the story. One by one, her accusers dropped their stones. They turned around, they walked away. And seeing that her accusers had left, Jesus said to the woman, "I don't condemn you either, but go and sin no more." Forgiveness is not excusing what your offender did. It's also not justifying what they did. To justify means to make something right. God doesn't call you and I to say that something is right. That is evil. He doesn't ask us to do that. Forgiveness is not pardoning what your offender did. A pardon it's a legal term. It means to release an offender from the consequences of their behavior or action. By the same token, it's not up to you and I to exact the punishment for the offense. God says, "Vengeance is mine and I will repay." I said earlier that forgiving your offender doesn't mean you become best friends. Forgiveness and reconciliation aren't the same. They're two different things. To forgive only requires you to do something. To reconcile requires two people to do something, you and the offending party. Reconciliation implies restoration of a relationship. That may not happen immediately, simply because in your heart you've forgiven the offending person. Reconciliation usually takes time. In some instances, years. It's even possible for you to forgive your offender and never experience reconciliation. Your relationship may never be restored to what it was. Reconciliation is like healing. It takes time. And if those who have hurt you don't want to reconcile with you, it isn't your problem. Leave it alone. Move on. Forgiveness isn't denying what your offender did. It's not turning a blind eye to what happened. Forgiving your offender does not mean you pretend the offense never happened. You don't keep bringing it up. You don't keep opening up old wounds. You don't store it on the hard drive of your mind. My friend, let it go. Don't keep a record of it. Deep hurts leave scars. It's one thing to have a scar. We all have them, physically and emotionally. But don't spend time thinking or talking about them. Keep them out of your sight. Keep those scars out of your mind. It's the only pathway to true peace and ultimate reconciliation. God bless you today.